What's good, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks? Thank you guys for joining me today. Today's video, we're going to cook some ribs. I had a buddy, Mike Wheeler, this is for you, my brother, asked me about some ribs a while back, and I made some ribs. His wife really enjoyed them, so he was kind of asking me, how I cooked them. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna, if you saw my last video, we took a spare rack of ribs and trimmed it St. Louis cut. Now I got to do something with that rack, so we're gonna cook it. This is gonna be a very simple cook. I'm not doing anything fancy, two of them, but I'm gonna show you if I was cooking ribs at home or for a party, I had some people coming over or whatever, I would probably cook them this way. So I got the ribs already cut up. We're going to get them seasoned up. I'll probably put them on my Weber Kettle. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But let me show you what the ribs look like. We'll get them seasoned up and on the grill. Let's get started. All right, so the rubs I'm going to use today, and at this point, you can use whatever rub you like. I know Brother Mike likes to make his own rub so he can control what goes in it. So you don't have to use the same rubs. Use whatever you like. But Victory Lane and Brother Joe sent me out a care package of some rubs. So that's what I'm going to try today. So the first layer I'm going to use is this garlic jalapeno seasonal. I'm going to use that as the first layer. The second layer is going to be this nutty pecan barbecue rub. Try that out. And I'm going to top it off with this cherry bomb barbecue rub. These all taste really good by themselves. Tasting them out of the container, I'm digging them. We'll see how they work together. I know Joe did a video, I think it was a competition video with the same combination. So we'll see. So I'm gonna come back with this garlic jalapeno. Give it a nice coating. I'm gonna do the rib tips too. I'm really interested to see how this combination works. Brother Joe made it look like, they work really well together. So, I'm looking forward to trying it. Next is gonna be this nutty pecan rub. Now you can use a binder. For those that may not know what that is, a binder is just something to help the rub stick, like oil, butter, mustard, whatever you like. I'm not going to do that today. We're going to see how well these rubs sweat into this meat. I got a feeling that it's going to sweat in and give it a nice, beautiful color. And I'm not going to need a binder, so get that. And then I'm going to come back with this cherry bomb, which, man, tasting it right out of the container, this is some good stuff. It's very unique. I don't think I've ever tasted a rub like this before. It's definitely cherry. So I think it's gonna give it nice color and some sweetness to these ribs. Man, I can already see this starting to sweat out already. It's only been a couple minutes. Good gosh. These rubs are working. Again, use whatever rubs you like. Again, you want to pat the rub, not rub it in. What happens when you do that, you move all that rub around, and then you get spots that have more rub than others. I'm going to get these flipped over. Same thing to the other side, top side. Come back with this garlic jalapeno. This garlic jalapeno is actually really good too. I'm really digging this garlic jalapeno. Nutty pecan. All right, so now we're just gonna let these ribs sit and, probably about 15-20 minutes. We're gonna see how they sweat in. And as we do this, I gotta decide which grill I'm gonna use. Probably the Weber Kettle, keep it simple. But I'll pick back up after these have sat for a bit, let you take a look at them, see what they look like. Hey guys, these ribs have only been sitting for about 10, 11 minutes. And look how much that rub has sweated in already. Those rubs have sweated in. Beautiful, beautiful color. I'm liking that. I think this is gonna be a good start to a good cook. I got the Weber fired up, and I'm getting it fired up. Once it's ready to go, we'll get these on. All right, you guys, I got the ribs on, the rib rack there and the rib tips. I've got some cherry wood underneath the oak here. Underneath the charcoal. So the bottom vent's halfway open, top vent is gonna be halfway open, and I'm not running any water in the water pan there. I'm just gonna let it run, and I'll spritz throughout the cook. But that's what they look like. Beautiful, beautiful color. Get the lid on and check back in about an hour. Guys, we're an hour in. That's what the ribs look like. So much charcoal we got left. It's starting to dry out, so we're gonna go ahead and spritz it. And you can use whatever you like to spritz. You can use water, apple cider vinegar, spray butter. I use it all. Today I'm using a 50-50 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. So you want to keep them moist. I didn't add water to the pan here because I knew that I was going to spritz here. So I'll probably do this about every 20 minutes from here on out until we wrap, just to make sure that they stay moist. All right, you guys, these ribs have been going for 2 hours. The bark is set. I like the color that we have. So now we're gonna wrap. What I'm gonna do is you can lay down, take a stick of butter, slice it up and lay it down, or you can use some parquet. I've got a little bit of this left, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this up. We're gonna lay some of that down. You're gonna take some brown sugar. I'm out of brown sugar, light brown sugar, so I'm using turbinado sugar. You can actually use either one. They both work just fine. And what we're doing here is we're adding some more sweetness and some moisture with these two. And lastly, I'm gonna take, or the next thing I'm gonna take is, you can use honey. I'm out of honey, so I'm using some blue agave, which is basically, works the same way. If you have honey, use honey. And then I'm gonna come back with the cherry bomb rub, because I like that one, and just give it a little extra coating. Just kind of reinforcing that sweet cherry flavor. Take the ribs, meat side down. And then on the back side, we're gonna repeat the process. Some of this parquet, or if you guys stick butter, use butter. Just lay it right over the ribs. Come back with some light brown sugar, or turbinado sugar is what I'm using today. They both work the same. Add this to the mix, just add the rest of it. And then, where did I put it? Where did I put my agave nectar? I just lost it, damn it. I just had it in my hands. Oh, I found it. Oh, good gosh. That right there. And then again, some more of that cherry bomb. Or whatever rub that you're using, you can put another layer of that on both sides. Just kind of reinforce the flavor. That's it. Get it wrapped up. We're starting to get some pullback here. So I like that. Get rid of that. Wrap it up. Oh man, I'm picking up that cherry bomb. That's got a really unique flavor. Make sure you double wrap it. I am using heavy duty foil, but these bones, you're still gonna get some more pullback. So you wanna make sure that you double foil it so it doesn't tear through the foil. Now the first part of this cook before wrapping, what we were focusing on is getting that bark set, getting some smoke on there, and getting some color. We got that done. The next step is to work on the tenderness. That's why we're wrapping. And you want to make sure you wrap it pretty tight. You want it to baste in that butter, honey, brown sugar mixture. You don't want it to steam. If you have the foil loose, It's gonna steam in there, build a bunch of steam in there, knock off that bark. So you wanna make it tight so you don't get that steam, but you allow it to baste and all that goodness. Now, brown sugar can melt, so you have to be careful. You wanna monitor this, make sure your temp isn't too high. And depending on what temp you're cooking at, I would probably check it at about 45 minutes. Make sure it hasn't burnt, open it up in 45 minutes. If you feel it needs to go longer, rewrap it up, put it back on the pit, and check it every 15 minutes after that. So I'm gonna get this back on the pit and check back in about 45 minutes. Now, this has been going for 2 hours, and I know that pit, when I set the vents, the bottom halfway, the bottom vents halfway and the top vents halfway, I get about 265 to 285 is usually what the temp runs. So that's where, you know, if you guys are wondering what temp I'm cooking at, somewhere right in that range. So if you're cooking at a higher temperature, you want to make sure that you check these probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes, to make sure that you don't burn the ribs. Since they are meat side down, they can burn. So we're gonna get back on the pit and pick back up once they're done. All right, you guys, the ribs are done. What I did is, so I cooked them, or I smoked them for 2 hours unwrapped. And then you saw me wrap them in the foil and add all the other stuff to the foil. And then I let them go for another 45 minutes. At the 45-minute mark, I checked the internal temperature, and they were reading about 202 to 206, which tells me they're done. I pulled them off. I opened up the foil, and I just put some barbecue sauce. You can use whatever sauce you like. I went with this Head Country apple habanero, because it's one of my favorites, but you're free to use whatever sauce you like. So I opened it up, put the sauce on it, let it set for a little bit, and this is where we're at now. We're gonna cut these ribs up, see what they look like, give them a taste. Got some nice pullback. We'll see what they taste like. Let's go ahead and just cut them all up. And I did the exact same thing to the rib tips. I tempted those, and those are reading about the same thing, 206. So I pulled them off, opened them up, sauced it. The residual heat from the ribs was enough to set that sauce, so I didn't have to put them back on. Oh, let's take a look at this. Oh, this is nice. Let me get a close-up of this. All right, so I got a rib here. You can see, look at that, plenty of moisture. Good gosh. We got a nice little smoke ring on the top here. Some nice pullback. That's a good looking rib. The top part, nice color. On this side too, you can see that moisture in there. We're gonna give this one a bite, see what it tastes like. All right, you guys, so here's that rib I just showed you. We're gonna give it a bite, and we're gonna see how it tastes. Cheers. Nice bite. Good flavor. I think the rib is cooked perfect. Nice tender bite. I do feel like it's lacking a little bit. I probably should have went a little more heavier with that garlic jalapeno, or this what is it? Yeah, the garlic jalapeno. I probably should have went a little more heavier with that, or I think they would have been great if I would have used my SPG as the base rub before adding those on. In fact, I think I'm gonna take some of this garlic jalapeno, dust the top of this rib, and give it another taste and see what that tastes like. Let's do that. All right, so I dusted it with that garlic jalapeno. I don't know if you can make that out. And we'll see what it tastes like. Nice bite. Oh yeah. That makes a difference. Dusting it with that garlic jalapeno at the end definitely made a difference. I did take some of this. Let me show you. I want to see what it tastes like with this. I use this B&B Trinity. This is an all-purpose rub. I like this as a base layer. I dusted a little bit of that on top of the rib. We're gonna see how that tastes. Oh yeah. I definitely think adding that garlic jalapeno or that Texas Trinity from B&B as a dusting rub on top is a good way to go. I think those three rubs, they worked well together. Maybe I didn't go heavy enough. I thought they were kind of lacking in flavor a little bit, but you know, never having used these rubs before, I wanted to make sure that I didn't go too heavy with it. So I think had I gone a little heavier, the flavor would have been, you know, kind of what I was looking for. If it just felt like it was missing a pop, dusting the top of that rib definitely added that pop. So it turned out good. I like the flavor of those three rubs together. But when it comes to cooking ribs, you know, you can use whatever rubs you want. I like adding that brown sugar, honey, butter when I wrap, because that just adds a bunch of richness and moisture and flavor to your ribs that enhances your rub. So, Brother Mike, that's what I add to my ribs when I wrap. I hope you found that useful. I think these ribs are good. I'm gonna dust the rest of them with probably the garlic jalapeno. Dust them, and then those will be for dinner. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the rib tip. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Take care.